that's about right for you guys. Let's press live there. Let's do that. You are now live. Right, good morning, Instagram. Let me just twiddle your angle there. Okay, and go live on Facebook. Oh, dear me. There we are. Oh, I'll just let everyone log on. Get me some bits and pieces sorted. I've got that. Got me a glass of water. Morning, Trudy. Oh. Got me a glass of water with ice and I'm absolutely roasting. Hi, Kim. Welcome this morning. Yeah, let me just see who else is around this lovely day. It's very warm though, to be fair. Very warm. So we're going to be doing landscapes this morning. Morning, Helen. Morning, Rach. Morning, Maura. Morning, Jeanette. Or Jean. Good morning. Hello. Hope you're all well. Oh, bless you. Oh, it's nice to have some company. I thought I was going to be on my own then. How fabulous is that? Right, good morning, everybody. So this morning is going to be landscapes. Now, landscapes and bits and bobs. The reason why I say that is a landscape can go into a really nice card and just a bog standard stamp sort of thing. So it's just going to be a case of just playing and moving around and just moving basically the paint around. So you could do this with oxides and you can do it with paint and water. I am going to do it with paint and water. But then I'm also going to incorporate oxides. So I incorporated oxides on this one. Lisa, you'll never be on my own. There has been times when I've done a live and I've been all on my own, you know. That was quite an interesting scenario. Now, before I do continue, I've had some lovely stamps come through. And these are from Hobby Art. And I've had some poppies. And I've had this lovely toad flax, which I think is absolutely gorge. Good morning, Yvonne. And then I've had this little hedgehog. I love hedgehogs. I've had this little hedgehog with his little hat on and a little tree and hugs and kisses. I think that's fabulous. And then I was kindly sent this one for free. Obviously, I purchased, and this was sent for free. Now, happy Halloween. Little dogs in blankets. How cool is this? I can't wait to... Morning, Trudy. Morning, Maura. Morning, Rach. I can't wait to make something with this, with the pumpkins and stuff like that. This little witch's hat, bats, spooky, and little spiders. These will be absolutely fabulous. And apparently there's a lot of these in stock. So there is a 50% on the go at the minute. So pop yourself over to Hobby Art. I will show these again, but I did want to just showcase them because obviously I was sent a free stamp and I'm very grateful for that. But I did purchase and I was refunded. So I'm being totally transparent with you in regards to that. So yeah, so I am going to be creating, especially as Halloween isn't that far away. I mean, look, a little doggy under there. Oh gosh, how cute is that? I'm a little hedgehog. So yeah, we'll be playing around with them. So I wanted to show you them. Morning, Angie. Hope you're well, my sweetheart. Lovely to have your company this morning. Right, so moved over to the YouTube. Morning, Michael. I love it. Right, so I've picked up a couple of stamps, and these are from the Tracy Evans collection. Now, morning, Susan. People have been asking how do I do using a stencil basis. So I've got a couple of stencils. I've got the fern and I've got the bauble, and these obviously include the little cutouts as well. The little cutouts are in there as well, you know, so as you do. But yeah, morning, Marie. Morning, Dominique. So I've got TE12. I've got one of the new ones as well. That is my new favourite. I'm just putting it straight out there. I've got TE5 and TE40. That's from the new collection as well. So I'm just going to show some different backgrounds using different things just to give you just different ideas of what a bit of paint and a bit of water can do for you, because this is just playing around. These are just backgrounds where I've played around and it's created its own scene sort of thing. So I just wanted to share that with you this morning. Morning, Debs. Yes, I got that one right. And Heather, Sharon, hi, good morning. So card. Now, the card stock I've got this morning, I've sort of got a bit of offcuts and stuff, if I'm really honest with you. So I have got some watercolour card. This is all Pink Frog. So I've got some watercolour card, A6 size, yeah, and there's little marks and stuff on that, and I ain't too worried about it. And then that's also watercolour card. You can tell the difference between the watercolour card. There's a slight, there's a tinge, even though it's white, it's sort of an off-white with the watercolour card, and I can always feel the feel on it. Now I have done decorative corners on those, and then I've done some tags out of the 300 DSM Super Smooth, and then I've just got some of those little ring things. I've cut them out myself from just an offcut, stuck them on, you know, because you know when you have them with the reinforcement, they cost a small fortune. And then I've just done another little thing, and then I've done a little booklet out of an offcut, trimmed it down just so it's a little booklet size. Okay, so it's going to be between Super Smooth and watercolour card. So we've got that little bit of a balance there. This was done on watercolour card and this was done on Super Smooth card. So you've got A6 and A5. Those are my sort of go-to sizes when it comes to doing any sort of painting or creating with stamps and painting, etc, etc. So I'm going to put them out the way. I'm just going to quickly show you. So for those of you that didn't see, I'd started on a Friday in the Tracy Evans boutique group. You have to join the group. I'm going to be doing journal pages basically, and while I was at it, I have actually, so this is Wonders Paints, but I've actually done the little Frenchy book as well. So I just thought, like as a galaxy setting there, when the oh, look at that, it's got it there. When the light hits a different way, it goes purples, it goes blues, and it goes greens. Oh gosh, this is divine. This is the chameleon paint from Wonder, the foiling rock lady. I mean, just look at that. When that light hits purple, the greens, the blues. I mean, this is the chameleon and the unicorn mixed together. I mixed the two together. I was adventurous. But on black, it's just divine, you know. So this was, I'm just going to quickly show you, just in case you haven't seen and you're not part of that. So we just opened it up. This was our first page, and then I mirrored it with this. So I mean, that was just a bit of acrylic paint down, and then stamped, and we just played. That was just a one-off. But I want you to get really adventurous and be able to just open it and just say, I'm going straight in. So I'm trying to get you. So every Friday we'll be doing that, and it will be in this until we fill that up. And then we'll start being a little bit more adventurous. And if you want to do it in a card and put it on an A6 card, or even a couple of A7 cards side by side, that'd be nice, you know. So that's those two done and dusted. So I've showed you those. Oh, I'm bouncing you around. Hi Sharon, hope you're well, my sweetie. Hi Heather. So let's start off with a bit of painting then. Now I am going to, hi Dominique, I'm going to do Super Smooth, and I'm going to do watercolour card side by side, just so you can see. And as I say, this is Pink Frog. Now, I'm not even looking at a stamp yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stamps over here and the paper, and I'm going to put those down just like that. Now, the brushes I'm using, I've actually plucked up the courage, and I'm starting to use my expensive brushes, and they are the Fumi range. Now, these are gorgeous. They're not cheap, but you pay for what you get, sort of thing. But saying that, when I say not cheap, £20–30. Now there's another artist that I've just, I don't know, I look at paintbrushes, then blooming all the things bombard you with everything. But I found a UK supplier, and again, quality wise is outstanding, won a lot of awards, and I have purchased their set. Now when that comes, I'm going to be doing a proper review on that. There's no code or anything to it, there's no sort of association links or anything. This is me just buying it. It's on offer. If you want to, I haven't got the brushes yet, but when they come, I'm sure they're going to be absolutely amazing, if I'm honest. Right then, let me just get a piece of paper. Now I have had a little bit of a rearrange after going to see Amanda. She always inspires me, as you do. So I've put my glass mat down. I have put this over it. Now this is just like some sort of, you know, like the sticky back and you can just put it, but it's matte, so you're not getting that reflection of the lights. And then obviously over here, so this is the Tim Holtz and this is the right-handed, because I'm right-handed, but obviously you get a light reflection here. So I'm going to put the paper there until I want to move it, and then just put a bit of paint down. But I have got some proper acrylic dishes coming, well, porcelain dishes for the paints. I've swapped to YouTube. I don't blame you, Ange. YouTube is always the best view. You always get the overhead view. It's so much better. Now, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe. It's free. So no matter where you're watching, I just stream from different places, so it just brings you all in. But if you can get yourself on YouTube, it's the better place, and you get that overhead view, which gives you everything you need. Now, I'm going to get my paints. So the paints I'm using today are my Gansy Tambi ones. There is an associated link in my YouTube posts. It's in there. This is the 48. This paint is the dog's danglies, dangly doodles. Now, for me to do painting as an artist, and to do some like watercolor scenes, this is what I'm going to be using in future. It even puts my others to shame, if I'm honest. So my Winsor and Newton set, this is my go-to. I love the colours, I love the range. I haven't got to mix and fiddle around all the time. So for me, it's a win-win situation. But you do you, and you do whatever. I'm lucky that I did have some savings. Oh, you're watching in the car. Oh, gosh. Wow. That's not the best then. Yeah. I did have some savings until this happened. And I thought, oh, I'm going to treat myself. Sod it. Right, I'm just having a gob full of water because I'm absolutely rolling. C6 is in motion. Oh, bless you. Oh. Terry's buying them for my birthday. Oh, fabulous. Right then, to prep your paints, you just spray. Now, I have no idea what I'm using, so I'm gonna give a nice spray overall. There's some of these I haven't even used. There's gold, there's silver, there's a white silver, and there's a white. Nice. I have tried the white. Obviously, my bleed proof white is my go-to. However, the white for mixing, obviously the same, is perfect. Now, you can also do a dabber and just dab a drop on if it's just certain ones, and you can take these out. And I'm just going to, obviously I've just squirted it, but if you, I'll do one where we're over. So if, for instance, I took this one out, underneath it, Persian blue 60. So everything is, I have those tapes, but disappointed that there wasn't a mixing tray. Does it need one? Well, I'm mixing on here. Yes, you will need a mixing tray. But if I'm honest with you, again, it depends on personal preference. I'm getting a porcelain mixing tray because it doesn't stain, it doesn't mix. I've got loads of plastic ones, which my mum's going to be happy about because she always have my old stuff when I upgrade. But again, it's personal preference, you know. Oh gosh, I don't want to influence you either way, but if I use something, I use it because I enjoy using it, and it's a good product. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them. Trying to prep, and oh god, I know I haven't got mum with me, so I can't even, you know, I think we're going to eat out today. That's all I'll say. It's weird not having my mum around when you're so used to her being here. I'm missing her terribly, bless. And my dad, obviously. Right, so I'm going to put Wanda's paints up here. So I have got the little unicorn pot here as well. So we might have a little bit of that going on. Not sure yet. Let me... Gosh, I've got bits everywhere tonight. I have actually rearranged, and I thought I got myself quite well in order, if I'm honest. Right, anyway, let's get some painting done. So I'm just going to pop some water down. So I'm going to put water on both watercolour card and the super smooth. Now, all I'm doing is prepping a surface. Can you comfort in? Yeah, we'll all be round. Can you whack? No, don't whack the address out because you don't want some loonies turning up for you. Wouldn't wish that on you. I'll stay at home, I promise. Right then, so this is me getting my madness out the way. Now, you can tape down. Obviously, when you're working, I'm going to put that there just so it soaks up any excess. So as you can see, when water's added, things do curl, and in this heat, things are drying very, very quickly. So I have got a little mister, which I can go over. So there's a lot of different ones that I use. Yeah, you use whatever. That's obviously my hairspray. I like the way that mist, quite heavy. That's lighter, and that's even lighter. That's an old Stampin' Up. So again, you do you. So you'll come for dinner. We're all going to dinner somewhere, but we don't know where we're going yet. Love it. Might be cold. Well, you got a microwave, I'm sure. If not, I'm sure we're quite fine. We can work it out. Now, I've got an array of brushes, as I say, and there's some I haven't even used yet. So I have got like calligraphy brushes and stuff like that. So for me, if you just want to put down a wash, for instance, and when I say a wash, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that over there, and I'm just going to, you'll probably just see, I'm going to put a bit of water there, and as I'm doing sort of green scenery, I'm going to use a bit of a lighter bit down. Let me move that out of the way. There we go. So all I'm going to do now is just, now already I don't like this brush. It's molting already, and to me that's a no-no. So that's already going out the way. I don't do molting brushes. I hate molting brushes. So that's going away. You're going to end up pulling out hair more times than anything else. So I'm going to use a cat's tongue brush now. And that sort of will give me... Now these are professional brushes. They hold a lot of water. So I'm going to do a couple of different greens onto this now. Again, depending on you as what you like or what you don't like, you can put on whatever you want, realistically. Yeah, let's put a bit of that on. You can put lots of different greens on. Now, I can look at that and think to myself, okay, we've got stuff down. Let me just rinse my brush out. Let me just lay that down. Now, I can, let's put this one, I think. So, if I put a little bit of water in here and start splatting on that gives me another, yeah, you get what I'm doing, yeah. We're just having different sort of different ways, and it's not plain ball, that isn't. Stay, little sausage. Okay, fancy it having a world of its own today. Now, oh aye, there you go, look at that already. You can look at this now, and you can actually go in while it's wet and lift off ink. So say for instance you wanted a lighter area here, lift off the ink before anything dries. You can lift off the ink. Yeah, hello, how's my little Superman doing? I know we speak quite often, but I just thought I'd put it out there, as you know. Oh dear me. So I quite like the look of that. Do I really? Well, I want to add some more colour. So on that green, I'm going to add, there's like this lovely, the colours on this. Hi Kaza. The colours on this are divine. And to be fair, I can just really, he's doing fab, having a bath. Don't tell him. Okay, I won't do. It's just naughty. Keeping him out the loop like that. And again, you can just tap, move it around, do whatever you like. Yeah. Now, let's do the old dry. So we've just put colour down. Now already I have no idea. So let me just dab this off a little bit, dry it off. Dab, dry, dab, 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 dry. So there's one layer, yeah. So I've got quite a light, very pale actually. That's really gone pale on there. And that's the watercolour card. Obviously I've not lifted so much off this one, but I just want to show you only like just different ways. So for me, I'm just getting my madness out the way, you know, my morning madness. So I'm going to put what I'm going to put over this. I'm going to put like a bit of a blue over, I think. So again, you can paint over if you want. I want a bit more of a wash. Add more water, bring it down, do whatever you like, realistically, yeah. In fact, you know, let's just make a mess. Why not? Now then, let me just grab. I'm just going to grab the first stencil I come to. It's a Tim Holtz. There you go. So I'm just going to put that over there. And all I'm going to do now is just dab off with a brush where it's a bit wet. And leave that underneath. That gives me an idea of something. There might be a bit of wetness under there. Yeah, so I've got to repeat on that. So to me, all you're doing up now is just building different layers. So I'm just showing you basically how to play around with just different materials and how the different card lays down. Now, I love my sable. So again, everybody does whatever they want to do, sort of thing. Now I want to put down sort of an idea that we've got maybe a bit of greenery here. I'll do the same on this one, sort of mirroring. Let me just put a little bit of water on my brush, just mirroring that sort of area there. This will be a tag, so we're doing the tag for next month, July. If you're not in the mashup group, get yourself in there. There's a load join this month, which is brilliant. There's myself, Amanda's in, you know, so come and join us for some fun, doing some tag swaps, no matter where you are in the world as well. You know, we do send out, you know, so don't worry about that. Now I'll be open and honest with you. Some of these are real squirrel hair, and the majority that I purchase are synthetic. Now I had a set sent to me from Fumi, and they are squirrel hair, and they are real. Okay, so that's not by my choice. I'm going to put that straight before anyone bombards me. It's very, very rare I eat meat, very rare. I was a vegan for a long time, vegetarian through and through. So, you know, please don't bombard me or say, oh, you know, X, Y, and Z. Listen, I get it, right? You know, I get it. So we'll leave that one there, because I'm not jumping on that debate with anybody. I'll tell you that now for nothing. Right, so we've got a little bit of something going on. Perfect. And again, the thing I love about using, I remember thumbs. Yeah, thumbs up, everybody, while we remember. Bless your cotton socks. When you're playing around with watercolour, you can move whatever you've already put down, which is what I love. So I'm actually going to go in with sort of a lighter, and I'm just going to put a little bit of a blend here. It's a bit like an luminous, this is, and I'm going to have that as a bit of a background sort of thing, and let it bleed in. Now when I say let it bleed in, it's become wet on wet, which allows that to sort of move around. And with it doing that, I'm then going to put in a little bit of brown. So I'm just touching the palette now, and all I'm going to do is where I think that there's an area of a darker nature, as I'm coming closer to here, as into me. Yep. Lisa, do you find the squirrel hair brushes any better? I'm going to be honest with you. The synthetic are great, but the real thing is better. As an artist, being straight, and I'm being very open with you, and I don't like to say that, but the real ones you can, yeah, sorry, but I haven't brought them. All mine are synthetic, but I am being very, very honest with you there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a darker layer, and I'm going to take that into that brown and bring that across. So I've already got sort of that oversight, you know. So yeah, don't shoot me, and don't send me nastiness, you know. But I'm being very, very open and very honest with you. But at this precise moment in time, I am using the squirrel hair. Now, if you think that's too wet and you don't like what you're seeing, remember what I said, we've got a bit of tissue. You can sort of dab in areas if you want. So if I want this area to be a little bit lighter going up, I shall make that a little bit more lighter, and it's going to come across a bit lighter here. So we've got a little bit of a valley now coming in. And this is the cheapest of cheap. I mean, you touch this and it'll sort of fall to pieces. Again, personal preference. I have got plenty. I found it. My mum has hid it, because obviously I like to... She's hid it in the cupboard, but I found it. Don't tell her. And if she comes on while we're on, nobody tell her. So on here, we'll forgive you for the hairs come from any grace. But there you go, sorted. Woo, dear me. I don't like upsetting people, but I am very honest as well, and I'm not going to lie. If somebody asks me a question, I'm going to be totally straight with you, you know, and that's me. And that's me as a genuine person, not me as like anything in particular sort of thing. So all I'm going to do here is use a different brown, and then I'm going to add the darker brown in. Again, just a different bit of contrast. And then I'm going to pick up that sort of luminous now, and I'm just going to blend it in. Now, that looks all messy and all sorts of nonsense there. Sorry, he was so... Oh, hello. He was so something. We will never find out. What was he, I wonder? Now, all I'm doing now is just tickling over Now this is on the watercolour card, and as it's Pink Frog, I know that I can really layer this up as much as I want. Now I'm going to go in with a darker colour here. As you can see, now that's quite thick and wet, so I'm going to add myself a little bit of water onto the brush, and then I'm going to move it around. Now, allow yourself to play. Don't be so hung up about you've gone over a line or it's blending into something. So what? Okay. I mean, look at that now. That looks like a nice little tree line in the background. And we've got this whirly, swirly mess. And that's a lovely sky. And on here, it's gone quite sort of blended out. So again, I'm going to do the same. And just so you can see, I'm using this really... I know if you want the colour, I will lift the thing up, but I'm just showing you what I'm doing. I've just dipped my brush in for a little bit of water. And then I'm going to do sort of... Now, look how wet that is, yeah? However, I don't mind that. I'm going to bring it down. And then I am going to put in some of that lovely sort of luminous. Morning, didn't see the message. I was just... Oh, no, you carry on, Cocker. Oh, beautiful. Make sure you show us what you do. Don't be shy. I always like to see when people... It's so inspiring watching what you guys are all making. It's fabulous. So there we go. We've got like a really, really quick, easy tag on a landscape. Now, let me get this dry, because we're going to stamp over it and put some layers on, which is what it's all about. And then I'm going to... Now I've got me bit out my system, I can then sort of start layering and showing you different techniques, because I want this to be more of a technique thing for you this morning, if I'm honest with you. So, oh, look at that. So I've just splatted that on there, as you do, and then again, look at that. I really like that. That sounds exciting. It does, you know, Helen. Just with some wooden bookmarks to do something on. Oh, well, hopefully I'll inspire you to do something. What, I don't know, but you know, it's one of them. Now, I like simple, but I like to build up off simple. So let me... Now, where did I put the tags? Stamps even. Right then, so as I said, I've got a mixture of different things in. Now, just to do something really, really simple for you guys, this new set that Tracy's released, which was released yesterday, TE50, this is my new go-to stamp. No ifs, ands or buts. I absolutely love this little fella. I missed the start. Yeah, well, it's all right. It's everything's Pink Frog. Yeah, I inspire me to give me a kick. Yay, fabulous, Helen. That's what it's all about. Get them paints out. Painting is so much. Let's put it like this: you can buy a set of paint, and these paints are going to last a long time. Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I've got all my oxides, and I love my oxides, and I'm going to put oxides on this just to bring it out a bit more, okay? So you can mix the two together. You're not painting and that's it. You can paint. It's like this one, for instance. I added tumbled glass, peeled paint, and then I put a little bit of Uncharted. And then, as you can see, I've just done a little bit of water splash on, because I like that effect. And that's painting and stamping freehand, yeah, and then the stamps. Simple, but very effective, yeah. So I'm going to stamp in black just to prove a point, because most of you have probably only got a very few range of the VersaFine Clair. You've always got black because you like to stamp in black. I've got the full collection of the colours, so I can stamp. Ordered that set yesterday in pink, but honestly, she's on the ball. Absolutely amazing. I am like blown away with just the dedication Tracy shows us. You put an order in, it's gone straight out, bam, straight out. So you're stamping black. You've got paints. You will be able to... In fact, I'm going to have that as a height piece there. And I just looked because I've got this bow down, and then I can go lower here, so the eye line will catch what you've already done. Yeah, so Tracy will literally dispatch straight out same day. Got to go for... Oh, no, right, enjoy, sweetheart, have fun. Thank you for joining me, darling. Have a fabulous postman as good as Tracy. I know, tell me about it. Oh, dear, mate. It is funny, though. Right, so to me, you could even call that a finished tag, because all we'll do now is put some paint on it, and there you go. I'm going to do the same one again on here, and we've got a totally different looking background, and I'm going to do this lower so it's more of a bush. So just here and there. I'm going to have a little bit of lift there. I like a little bit of sort of lifts here and there. You can do first and second generation if you like a little bit of a shadow. See you later, sweetheart. Have a fabulous day. Thanks for popping by. So, look at me. I'm even being good here. Look at that. I'm even rubbing. Look at this. I'm being ever so good. Oh, dear me. I don't know what's come out for me. I really don't. Anyway, I'm going to put that there because no doubt I'm going to use it again. But we've got two. We've used one stamp. Let's flip it over. One stamp. And we have got two different effects, but stunning in their own right. Now, for instance, we can leave that as that by even. Or you can actually paint. Now, you've just stamped in Versa, so no matter what happens, that's always going to stay there. Now, I am using a 0 on a round, okay? I have, as you know, I have got a load of little fine line stuff, and I've also got my enhanced points from the I don't know, is it Fumi or something like that? Yeah, well, I think it's pronounced Fumi, and that's a number 4 brush, and then you've got that dead tiny point. Now, again, either a 0 or this 4 with that point, because you've got the fine line. I'm going to leave that one as it is, because I like the background, I like the brown in that, I like the pop, I like the sky. So I'm happy I could put a hole in that and send that to anybody, yeah? Dead easy. This one here, I'm going to put a contrasting colour, or a colour that sort of pops. We could have these as like little, say, I don't know. Let me pop a little bit of green on here as a bud, and then maybe we'll put a little bit of colour on so it looks like the buds are opening, so we can turn these into a bud. Let me have a gob full of water because I'm gasping already. Oh, crumbs. Honestly, this heat's absolutely killing me. So when you think about the lush, because we've used darker greens, if we use a light green here, the sound on effacement isn't great. Right then, okay, let me just have a look. Did I turn it up? Oh, there you go. Hopefully that's better. Hi Trish, Sharon, Debs, hi. Sound is okay on you. Yeah. Oh, the side, I've turned it up. Purple buds, yeah. We're going to do purple. See, you're on the same way. No, we have got, I'll show you the different colours that we've got. Let me just take a little bit of a, so I've got here, we've got lilacs. And I haven't tried these colours yet, so I want to see what they are. How about that? Go me. Terrible. So, I'm going to put them down here. I'm going to put that tag there. But here, I'm just going to quickly just do a bit of a swatch. Why not? So, this, I know this lilac is like in your face. How gorgeous is that? Yeah. Let me see what this is. And I'm only doing the tagging on the brush. Oh, wow. Good Lord, that's a nice colour. I think these are going to go into blues now. Yes, they are. Okay, so forget the blues. This is more of a magenta sort of colour. Yeah. And I can see that's obviously a lilac. And it's going to blend fabulously as well. Look at that. Ooh, hello. Okay, so yeah, we're going to have those lilacs. And what's it? Let me just mop that up. In fact, the easy way to do it is making sure we're not wrecking anything, is get rid of that and that. So let me just get rid of that. Let's do that there. Gosh, I'm on the ball today. On the ball today. Right, okay. New piece of paper. There we go. Right then, painting. So I am going to use this fine 0 brush now. I'm going to do a very light green. So I'm probably going to go on the pan. It's going to be probably this one. I want, oh, that's a nice, let me just take a bit of that up. There we go. I'm going to put that there. Hi, Philippa. How are you, my sweet? Hopefully you're well. So let me just move that out of the way. Right, so add a bit of water to this green, and then I'm going to work with it directly off there. Now, if you had a palette or a pan or porcelain dish, saucer or anything like that, that would be great to work off here to there, or I'll move myself over. I want to say Stencil for you lot. Now all I'm going to do here is just make sure I've got water down for starters. Let me just square it down. There we go. perfect. Okay, so I don't want it too wet, but I want it wet enough to take away that harsh black. Because as I say, I know there's a lot of people that haven't got the colour set and think to themselves, if you put black down, that is it. And you've got to buy all these different colours. Well, you haven't. Good, I'm glad to hear it, Philippa. So what I'm going to do here is, I mean, I could have been easy on myself and just stamped in green. But then if you haven't got green and you're saying, well, Lisa, I haven't got green, I've only got black. You're now seeing what we're doing. Now, if you wanted to really mix it up and showcase your work differently, I'm going to put a little bit of that light, and then you could do different greens in this. So, you know, when you, as I always say to you guys, when you look at a leaf, you never see a one green leaf. You see greens with yellows in, with all sorts of different things. So already that is now giving you a totally different look from that harsh black. And this is where having the confidence, just to, even if there's nothing there, but I'm going to put a bud there. Yeah, nobody's going to know or pick through your artwork because it's your artwork. And this is what you guys forget a lot of the time. It's your creation. If you have the paint and it's quite wet, it'll go quite translucent, and then obviously the black will be more prominent. If you keep your brush drier, or your consistency of paint a little thicker, then obviously it will go down really easily over the black, and you will lose that black very, very quickly. So you understand now, if you stamp in black, how you can paint over it as easy as you can. And that's where I will use stencils for my advantage as a sort of a silhouette cheat for me, really. No other word for it. Now, if you're comfortable enough to do a couple of little lines here and there, down you go. Or, again, let me just take these brushes out of here. I don't want to sit them in there. I have got this one with that really light point on. So let me just see if it's going to do what I want it to do. Knowing my look, it probably won't, but let's have a look. Oh, yeah, it will. Okay, so that gives me beautiful fine line, and it's taken away that harsh black perfectly. Okay, so don't be shy, as I say, to have a go, even if it's only on a scrap piece, you know, these loft cuts that you've got. And to be fair, the black, if you leave a little bit of it showing, it gives you a really nice sort of backdrop and more of a shadow and a little bit more depth. Yeah, now if you don't like that bit of depth, then just get a wet brush, dab it off, and you can quite easily move that bit of paint that you've put down to give you another layer of a background if you want to, if you want. So it looks like I've got that another layer of a layer of a layer. Yeah, so let's put the colour in now. Now you are going to need a finer line on that. Now I'm going to put that one there because that one is just left. Now I am using a 00 brush, and that is a very, very fine line. And this, I mean, the set was cheap, but I'll tell you what, it does exactly what it needs to do. I think this was like the £11.99 set with, I think there was 11 brushes in. So it's like £1 a brush. Fabulous. Now we had such fabulous colours here. So I'm going to start with this darker, I'm going to show you here the colour I'm going to start with, which is this one. But then I'm also going to add some of the lighter lilac in it as well. So just so you can see what I'm using, I'm going to pull a blob on here on my palette, and I'm going to pop it down over there, just so you can see everything I'm doing in real time. And I am going to go on my lovely bud area, and I'm going to add just a little bit more of a wider area. Now these are from the new release, as I say. Absolutely fabulous set of stamps, and I say, I'm not just saying it, but all the design team, we've all had the conversation, and we've all said they're absolutely a joy to work with, and you won't put them down. They're absolutely amazing. Hello. There we go. Just making sure we're saying hello to everybody. If I haven't said hello to you, good morning. Hopefully your day is kind to you today. It's Sunday. Where's the week gone? Dearie me. I blink and it's gone. Now, there's the darker buds down. Yeah, so I'm going to now clean my brush off, dab it off, and then I'm going to get some of that lilac, that really light. Remember I said to you I was going to use that really light. Now I'm going to pull a bit off and just have it on my brush. You don't need a lot. And I'm going to place it down here, and I'm just going to have a little bit of water on my brush. So that moves it around just slightly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to go on other areas, but I'm also going to just touch some of that darker lilac, that darker sort of, I'm going to mix the two together so I get a different lilac. And this is perfect if you're looking at that lobelia set. These paints are absolutely perfect. I've got purple lobelia in my garden as we speak. And I tell you what, it's absolutely fabulous to sort of be able and take some photos in my own garden without going for a walk to go and do that. And just sit and be able to paint something at my garden. And I bet you've all got sort of little buds or little plants, little flowers, bits of colour. Go and have a play. Go and just eat. And it hasn't got to be exact, hardly. Get to summer and boom, honestly. Blink and it's gone another season. What on earth? Crikey. Dare I say the C word's coming very rapidly again. Right? And then before you know it, we'll be back to here. And you'll think, where's it all gone? You know? Now, I'm not going to overdo it, but that gives you the idea. So, that has now given us that lovely little background. Now, if you want to just bring... So, this we've just left the rawity of a black stamp. And the impact of that is different to actually colouring it in and softening it. Now, because for me the greens are too soft, I'm just going to go in with my number one brush. And I just want to put a little bit of a darker, not too much, but I'm just going to go in with a little bit of, I'm just going to put it down here. And all I'm going to do is just say to myself, we've just got a little bit more of a tree line here going on. And I'm going to bring it down and into it. And then I'm going to add a bit of water. And the best thing when you're moving around on this pink frog card, it moves so well for you. And you know me, I'll just say it as it is. It's flipping good card. And this is the super smooth. That's the watercolour, you know. So let me just move them out of the way there so you can see. I'm just mixing around with some of these. And again, I'm just going in here and there. Now, if you want to add a bit of colour in the background, so I'm going to pull a little bit of this lilac and I'm just going to dab it in places. Just so it gives you that interpretation that there's something going on in the background. And I'm going to get a little bit of this darker colour here. And then what I'm going to do is I've dabbed it down. And then a bit of water on my brush will move it around. Now, if you put water down and it settles on top, just dab it off and start again. I don't like too much ink. Oh, hello, my dogs are barking. Bless the little cottons. But if you put your water down and then move, it'll give you that lovely little bit of what's going on there moment now. So already it looks like we've got something in the background, which I think is fabulous. And it could be more of these lovely flowers for all we know, but we don't know. So I'm going to put a little bit of yellow just in with that, only here and there. And there you go. So there we go. So to me now, that's giving you what you want in that sense of a background. Now, catch up on the red. Yeah, oh, go on. Oh, nails done for weddings and far more important. Yeah, catch up will be available, don't worry. Bless you. Crikey, I know my priority. Off to get your nails done, definitely. Now, if you wanted to put a little bit of a background in this, just put a bit of water on. Nothing major. Bye, Trude. Have fun, sweetie. And all I'm going to do here is just add a little bit of grey so it looks like a cloud. And this is straight off the palette. I'm not mixing any colours. And then I'm just going to put a bit of the white. Now, the white is what's on the pan. As you can see, it's not me, what's it white. But again, you can just put it in here and there, and because it's wet on wet, it'll disband like a cloud. And this is dry, wet on dry, so again that will give it that harsh look. But then let me just pick up a little bit of grey underneath, a little bit more. Come on, Lise, don't be shy. And then it gives you that sort of idea. We've got a straw pamper. Honestly, you've got to have a bit of pampering, ain't you? Especially with weddings. Oh, how joyous. It is wedding season though, as we all say. So yeah, go and enjoy. Oh, I love it. Can't wait to see the photos. I bet they're going to be stunning. Can you just imagine the dress, the hair? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Right, I'm just going to pick a little bit of that white up here and just put a bit up here. So to me, there you go. We've got something in the background which looks like a bonfire's on the go. So with that, me saying that now, I'm just going to put a bit of green down over this. And just have it as another layer. So if you don't like something, just add another layer, because then it'll change it into something else. Change it to what you like, and then if you really don't like it, put a bit of white on it. There you go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Right then, that'll do actually. So that's giving you 2 ideas of that. So let me do something in a bigger context now for you. So I'll let them dry, but you can paint over your stamp or you can leave the stamp. It gives you 2 totally different looks. It just depends how adventurous are you going to be. Let's get a decent piece of card and do a display. So I'm going to go off this sort of scenario for you. So let me get some card stock. So I'm going to use some watercolour card. Again, there's no particular reason why I'm doing that. I'm going to pop that down like so. And I'm going to give you sort of some tree line, a bit of grass line, and a different sort of context in area sort of thing. It's like when you look at both of them, you sort of, do you get what I mean? You get the idea of the different layers that we're going to put in. So we'll start with the skyline and then we'll come down into. You always start with your skyline. So I'm going to sort of do your blues. I'm going to do your traditional colours, okay? And I'm going to use just a normal like a sable look, and I want you to be able to use either watercolor card or super smooth. I'm not going to recommend any other card because that's what I use, and I can't turn around and say this is going to work like this because I don't know. Okay, so I'm being totally honest. So when I look at the bluers, you automatically think this is going to be your blue sky, but I'm actually going to have a look at this darker blue here, and I'm going to put a bit of that down over there. And I'm actually going to spray my card first and get it all prepped. Now it is going to bow, but as you work on it, it'll do what you want it to do. I'm going to hold it down and I'm going to put some of that darker and just move it. Let the water take your colour. So you can see that it's like, oh, hello. And then I'm going to have a look for some of this lighter blue, and I'm going to put some of that lighter blue in. Yeah. Now, when you're doing stuff like this and you put your brush down and then you can get a bit of tissue, clean tissue, and you think to yourself, well, you know something, a cloud would look nice there. Yeah, let me just dab off that water puddle there. Yeah. So already we've got a bit of movement now. If you want it to have, so I'm gonna get finger marks, but don't worry. If you want it to have a bit of a sort of, let me pick a bit of that lilac up. Let's put a little bit of colour in. Now I'm going to rinse that off my brush. Water is still on it. It is watercolour card, yes, it's Pink Frog that I'm using. And I've just got it on an A6 sort of side. And I'm going to bring a little bit of colour this way, yeah. And I'm going to bring it down a smidgen. Now, don't worry about this harshness here. I'm going to put a little bit more water off and just blend it in. So the colour is going to start blending in. Now I'm going to pull up a bit of grey. And I'm just going to put a little bit of grey at the top. And then here I'm going to go into a little bit of sort of orange. So I've got a little bit of orange on my brush, and I'm just going to bring that in. And again, you can do you at the end of the day. So I'm just adding water and I'm just allowing this to all blend in. Now underneath that I'm going to put yellow. skip it here, skip it there. Now really, so I could have turned it around and had a proper good old piece in its own right, but I haven't, so don't worry, I'm not. So I can leave that now as it is, or you could just dab off if you think to yourself, well, that looks a bit too sort of, I want a little bits of gap, bits of cloud line. Yeah, I get it, let's do that. And if you've got harsh bits here and there, just dab here and there. Bear in mind, if you take too much off, you can add, you know, but we can put trees in, we could do all sorts. So we've got wet card still, so nothing's dried off. And then I'm going to start bringing the green in now. So I'm going to do a very like a light wash. So I'm actually going to use what's already here. And all I'm going to do is just put down a green scene line. And I'm going to actually bring it all the way down. And I'm not worried that I've got darker blobs or whatever I've picked up on my brush. There you go. Let's just wipe it all in. Yeah. Because if I don't like anything, all I'm going to do is just dab it off. Yeah. So it's a bit like you can actually erase stuff off without sort of going too crazy. Now, you can actually sort of draw out certain areas if you wanted to, with a bit of tissue, or you can think to yourself, well, I don't like that, I'm going to do something else. Do you get what I mean? So watercolour card, watercolour full stop, you can really move things along. Now I want to bring a bit of a, I don't know, so I'll probably say a bit of a, should we do a bit of a sloping sort of thing here? And this is sort of my go-to sort of easy, you know, I'm going to put a little bit of darker green here. I'm going to pick up a bit of this lighter green and bring that down here. And then maybe I'm going to just bring a little bit of something here. So again, all I'm doing is just moving around just different greens at the minute. And then I'm going to put a little bit more water on my brush. And because I like working wet on wet, which means that it's going to be wet card with a puddle on sort of thing. And then I'm obviously dipping in. I'm not doing a dry brush. I'm absolutely, it's wet. There you go. Right, so now I've got that sort of swoop, 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 or you do whatever you want. You might just want to do a swoop, or you want to do a swoop that way. You'll all have your own direction of where you think is best, yeah? Now, depending on the brush you've got, you can just do a little bits of wiggles here and there, and then that could then start to look like a tree line, because you never, unless you're out in the middle of nowhere, you've never got like a flat, you know, sort of, you know what I mean. So let me just pick up a bit of a darker green. Again, I'm just going to add this in. Again, you'll always get different colours. Yeah. Just let the movement of that wet card allow you to build up a distance. Yeah. And then I'm going to just blend this in. I'm going to let it come down. And I'm going to put a little bit of brown into this. And that's just because, let me just add a bit of water on my brush. The reason why I'm putting a bit of brown is I just want to add that little bit of extra depth in the background. And this is there where I always say about working with a reference picture. It's fabulous because then you can sort of look at, I mean, I haven't got a reference picture. You can look at different sort of bits here and there, and you can see what catches your eye. You know, like in the distance, trees, might be a building, it could be a fence, it could be a wall, it could be absolutely anything, you know. So I'm just going to add a little bit more water here, and I'm just going to just blend this down and in. I'm going to move that sort of, and just let it all blend in on its own. So there is no sort of real sort of movement to anything. I'm making this up as I go along, yeah. And this is where you really can, you know, dream up the most crazy things. And when you paint them on, it's like, wow, it works. Because I had no idea what I'm going to do. Hi, Mama X. Hope you're well. I'm going to put a bit of lightness here. So I'm going to use this lighter green straight out the pan. And see how it's got that lovely bit of yellow. So that just lifts that area, yeah. Very nice, very nice. So already now we're getting sort of the layers to this. And then again, another green around here, because you never just want to, oh crumbs, I've done it again. You never want to stick to one sort of green. If you do, you have a very flat colour. And a lot of you have messaged me, you know, what's wrong, what's missing? And it's just because you've had a flat colour on. Now, how many greens have I used on this? Do you get what I mean? Yeah. And that's all it is. Now, if you're not comfortable moving it around with a brush, just pop yourself a bit of spray on, and that will then take out all your corners, all those harsh lines, because it will just, you can then, you know, just move things around if you need to. Yeah, and that will just blend everything in. Now, to me, that's a perfect background for you to make something really dramatic with without doing very much. Now, the only thing I do want to do is, because there's quite a bit of water, I'm just going to dab around the edges, take away any of my lovely fingerprints. And then you can also tape off. So you'll see a lot of artists will tape the card down so nothing bows, and it also, I quite like being raw. I like the craziness that we get, basically. So let me get this dry first of all, and then we're going to get some stamps, and I'm going to show you, I'm moving them paints just over a little bit. Then I'm going to show you then the difference that it is when you start stamping on and you're painting, or you stamp on and you've got that rarity like we've done with the tags. So let's have a look at those tags now while we're waiting for this to dry. I'll put that there. That's dried lovely, yeah. And then this one that we painted on, different. That's just a little bit, still a little bit wet in places. And don't worry about your card curling. Turn it over and just straighten it out, and it'll do it naturally. Pick it up, hold it like that if you're comfortable doing it. If not, just, you know, just hold it and do your thing, yeah. So I'm liking that. These are drying lovely. Let's put that down there. So I'm hoping this is giving you a little bit more confidence just to put some water down on a piece of card, whether it's Super Smooth 300 or watercolour, and allowing the colour to move. Just having a gob full of water. Hold on. Oh, crumbs. I'm going to be peeing for England today. I'm absolutely right. You know, I would say age and all the rest of it, but flipping heck. Woo! Killing me. Right then, so let's have a look. What can I show you? I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put these. It looks wonderful. Bless you. Thank you. Right, so a lot of you have asked about using stencils. Now, I can quite easily put these stencils in a way. So I'm going to show you now the difference. So you could stamp the stencil on black and do it that way if you wanted to. But if you want me to, I'm going to show you quickly with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is get myself a green, because I am going on to green, but it's going to be a darker green that's there. So I'm going to get peeled paint, one of my go-tos, and this is Distressed Oxide, and I just find oxides blend better, basically. So all I'm going to do here is where I think I want to see a fern. So I'm just going to put that down like so, move it off. Yeah, I mean, if you're happy with it like this, leave it like this and then stamp over it. How dramatic would that be? I think that'd look really cute, actually. Let's just, let me just, and the best thing with this is you can pop these in any direction with a stencil. Same as a stamp. You know, I'm not saying that you can't do that with a stamp, but a lot of people are a little bit worried about using stencils. Go for it. Don't be shy. All it is just showing your creativity in a different way. Should we have a little few down here, maybe? I love ferns. I just think they're just the most craziest little things going, they are. I love them. They've got such a world of their own. Absolutely. Let's have a rogue one going that way. That'd be me, the rogue one, going the other way. Now then, because we've just popped that down on a stencil, what I'm going to do is I am now going to just save me messing around later. So I am going to blend in with what we've got. Now I'm doing oxide, so if I don't like something, I know I can put water on it. And we're going to play a game then, isn't it? You know me and water. Just got to be done. Now, already I've blended that in, and you might go, wow, I love it. Perfect. That's all we need. As long as you like your artwork, that's all you need. Now I'm going to put some, I'm going to put a bit of tumble glass at the top. Let me grab Tumble. Good old Mr. Tumble. Let's grab him out. There you go, mate. Well, not as such, but there you go. Right then, so I'm going to gently blend over. Not too much, because we've just done all that lovely hard work. Well, not really. We've just put water down and let it move around. Just watch your fingers. Here I go again. Let me just, I'm learning as I go here. Let me just do that. Oh dear me, honestly. I'm a danger to myself sometimes when it comes to inks and carnage, honestly. So I'm just going to bring that down a little bit. Bring it in. Bring it around. I'm going to put that up here. Righty-ho. Now then, now I'm looking at the colours I've got on there and I can see antique linen. So I'm going to grab antique linen and I am going to grab a brush that does the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pull that together. And then we've got that over here. So I'm going to bring it into here to mix these together. So you can see now without going blue, green, use the colours what are on there. And then we've got that lilac. So I am going to get shaded lilac actually. That's going to be nice. Let's grab a brush for that. There we go. Now, I'm just going to start on the outer side because I don't want too much in, but I want enough to make that lovely pop effect of what we've got going on. So the oxides will blend it beautifully, and then we've got that bit there. So I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to take it just a little bit here. Okay, so don't be daft. There's no such thing as sorry I'm late. You're here. Hi. Behave, Ruth. Honestly, what you like. And then my last little bit is Uncharted. Dark brush, which is there. And then I just want to edge off the scene now. So I'm just going to do the corners. Only a little bit. Not too much now because I don't really want heavy sort of swirl lines on it. So this is a little bit of a layering class and a bit of everything really for you today. And the main thing is the scope of you being able to sort of put in paint, oxides, stamping. We've got a stencil on there. We're going to paint on there now. Right then, so what I've just thought about like some sort of tree branches coming over, but I'll freehand that. And again, I'll show you how easy it is to freehand. So let me get a fresh piece of paper, which I have one here. I'm doing well with this. And here's one I had earlier. Ta-da! Put that down there. Right then, so there we go. Okay, so I now want to put the greens into this. So I am going to use a smaller brush. I'm going to try this one actually. This one with the pointing. I like the look of it. Oh, good. I'm glad, Moira. I hope it's given you some inspiration. So I've got water here. Paint, should I say. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play around with what's already here. Now, I can quite easily look and think to myself, right, okay, well, this is going to come down like so. So again, I'm going to put the spine line down to a fern, because you always, when you look at a fern, and don't worry if you've not got the steadiest of hand or an extra line or whatever, don't worry about it. At the end of the day, this is you being you, and it's your expression. Now, just use it as a guide, yeah, because we've already got we've already blended out the stencil. So we know all we're going to do now is just add. And don't worry about the amount of water that you're adding. If it's too much and it's obviously trickling down the page, then obviously dab it off. But when you look at a fern, you've got like them little bobbly bits to it on the undercarriage. And you've got the depth of the light and the dark. Well, I've already got a light and a dark green on there. So all I'm going to do now is just literally just strokes out. I'm going to extend the stencil that Tracy's done, just so your eye is going to catch, because I'm then going to stamp on top of it. Why not? Let's live dangerously. I think that'll look quite nice actually. So let's have a see now. So let me do that. I don't want to rush it obviously, but I do want to be able to show you these different techniques. Is there a name for the brush with the fine line bit? Yeah, these are the extended point sets of the Fumi. Again, they are a very good brush. You know, I think they're about £20 odd for the set. I think there's either 4 or 6 in the set. Well worth it. I mean, there are other alternatives out on the market, but I do like to buy the legitimate sets, if that makes sense. and that's just down to supporting that particular company and all the rest of it. So there you go. But yeah, this is great because it doubles up, because I mean, if I really wanted to go in, I could then have the whole, it's all right, so I didn't know what it is, that's what I'm here for. I can like go down and then have a full, you know, I mean, I could really like, you could really do some fabulous, actually you could do some fabulous flower. Oh, I tell you, that's another idea. Anyway, let's get back to this. Christ, I'm off on my head now. Look what you've done, little terrapin, you. Right then, so let's get these ferns in. So there's nothing better than having, even though the stencil's giving you that lovely background, that little bit of extra little oomph, and then when we stamp over it, I think will be absolutely fabulous. But I mean, let's say, I mean, you might do this and think the stencil's enough, but I just want to show you that regardless of what you use, you can still paint over and create. And I think it's the best way of being creative, because you're going to learn new techniques, new styles. I mean, and again, you know, add you to it. I'm adding extra little flicky bits. I mean, a fern doesn't look like that normally, but it does in my eyes at the minute. And in my head, I'm doing a mix of different greens and different colours, and it's like, ooh, I'm liking this, yeah? So you just do you. Honestly, it's the best way to be. If you want to copy, feel free. I'd like to see your version, though, of you. Or even, you know, just have a go, and using the techniques I'm showing you will allow you then to create your own artwork, which the amount of people that message me and say, I never thought I could ever do this. I was like, yes, you can. I always have faith in you guys, because I've seen your artwork in many of the groups that you're in, and I know for a fact you're all more than capable of blowing me away. And I'm saying it as it is, and you know, yeah, but honestly, I ain't nothing special. I'm the same as you. The only difference is I'm the lunatic sat here on a camera talking to myself on my own in the room here. I bet my neighbours, well, I haven't really got neighbours, but I bet they must think I'm daft if they can hear me now. Bless. It's all right though. I'm armless. Well, I've got 2 arms, unless I'm putting one of them funny jackets where they tie around the back and I can't move. That happens quite a lot sometimes, especially when I talk to myself. Can anyone see the little hidden dwelling in the middle of the line? Oh, we found other things out. I like it when you find different things when in paintings. Love it. Go on then, tell me what you're finding. How fabulous. So I'm just going to get a different green to put into this lushness. So let me just bring that into it. Yep. That definitely looks ferny green. Yep, ferny green. Is there such a word? Well, there is now. We'll have a ferny green look. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to put that down here. Hopefully I'm not moving your imaginary thing, whatever it was. Yes, right in the middle. Right, I must say, you made it look easy. There's nothing here which I know for a fact any of you guys can't do. I really hope that makes sense. But I know for a fact that all of you are more than capable. More than capable. I'm just going to add a little bit of a darker line here. No particular reason. I'm just bringing it together now. And I'm just going to bring it out. Hopefully I'm not moving whatever it is that you've seen. And if I have, I'm really sorry. Let me just bring that over. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to turn it round now. So that's just giving me that eye line of there. So let me just get the fern stamp now, which is where are you? So there's the fern stamp, TE3 Tracy Evans, and that is exactly this. And the thing what you get with this, you get the cutouts as well. So you know, if you wanted to sort of do a negative positive, you can do it. Okay. So let me get the stamp, because I just want to show you the difference this will now give you. Now, you can do black. I'll tell you what, why not? Let's do black. It's in the middle of the trees at the back. What we're looking for, sorry. There. Is that? Oh, okay. So I'll tell you. See, now you've seen it. So I'll tell you what we'll do. I've got a brush, paint brush. You lot have seen a little house, yeah? So tell you what, let me just get a little bit of paint. Let's put a bit of paint down, and let me just put his little you know, in the background there. Let's just bring him together. Little log sort of thing going on, yeah. Let's just let me just have a bit of water. I'm just going to move that paint around. Yeah, just like so. Little bit of something going on there. And I'm going to just do a little bit of that there. So let me just, let's do that like so. So now there's definitely, you can come for tea. Love it. You guys are class. So let me just put a little bit of greenery around that, just so it sort of looks a little bit more lush. You know, don't worry, I'm getting to that bit. Hold on. Smoke and chimneys are a definite if you put a house down. You've got to make it look real. Let's just do that. Let's just, so just moving the paint to that edge of the waterline gives you that more of a crisper, so it looks like the house on the hill. Yeah. So now, as you say, we need, now I've got grey. Yeah. And then I've also got white. Now, the trick is getting the balance of the grey and the white correct, because you will always have that little bit of hello, I'm in sort of scenario. Yeah. Only a smidgen, nothing too major. Don't overdo it. Let me just put a bit of a glint where there might be a bit of a window. Maybe a bit of a doorway or something going on. Something anyway. So there you go. So you can sort of see. Oh, that's where the teddy bears live in there. So you saw it's operating for you. So there you go. Right then. So stamp. Now then, as I say, you can now put this in. Now, if I was doing this for summer, I would then do this in Shady Lane. But like I've just said, if you've only got black, yeah, and if you've got a cheap paint set, you can recreate this look. Now, just make sure everything's dry. But all I'm going to do now is, well, you made the smoke look. Well, that's all it is. It's a wiggle. Yeah, that's all it is. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. I'm sure there's a song in there somewhere. A wiggly song or whatever it was. I don't know. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to bring that up a little bit. Now, I'm going to use the larger ones because these are fabulous. Let me get a bigger block. So, yeah. Now be mindful, if you're not using both of these, mind what you're actually, is a wolf in there waiting for Red Riding Hood? Yes, exactly. Don't go in there. Don't do it. Oh, dear me. You guys. Honestly, love it. Right, so all I've done on that one is I've stamped that one up. This, do not worry about that, because that's not going to physically go on anywhere. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's on here and this is raised, yeah? So I am now going to pop this here. Let me do that, like so. Nice firm press, nothing major. Off it comes. And then I just want a little bit tweaking in, and I am actually going to be really good and wipe this. And I'm going to wipe that. Wow, I am being good today. I think Amanda Branston's rubbing off on me. Crikey. Dear me. Let's just, oh, crumbs that. I tell you what, that's a bit of all right, isn't it? Wow, I'm impressed. Okay, let's put that down. So all I want now is this smaller one, because I've already used the bigger one, which is there. So let's keep everything in context as such. Let me do it this way so you can see what I'm doing and I can see what I'm doing. Might help a little bit. That'll do for me. So again, I've just done the one down. If not, tape it off, whatever's good for you. Okay, so I'm going to do that like so. So you're still seeing what we've just painted, but it's just not as in your face. Now that has totally changed that picture, as you'll probably agree. So you could leave it like that if you wanted to. Let me just put that over here out the way. Let me just move things out the way because I can't see what I'm doing. Right, let's have a look. Stick things back where they are so I know I don't lose them. I'm good at that as well. Right, let's put that on there. Honestly, if I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. I keep telling you this, you know. You don't believe me. Right, okay, let's put that there. So that's using a stencil. So I'm hoping that's giving you the confidence to pick up a stencil and put it down and paint it, yeah? Because that's given us a lovely back layer. on that one. So let's put that out the way. That's where the stamping on top. Now you can, as I've just said, paint over this if you wanted to. Now I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I'm just going to use a 0 brush. And all I'm going to do is just, because we've got a bit of that darker green, and I'm just going to tickle up the black with that darker green. That's all I'm going to do. And just little highlights just here and there. So on the actual stamp, you've got little gaps, and all I'm going to do is just touch the brush so it just puts that bit of green in the gap. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. And again, it's toned down the black, but it's just giving it a bit of life. So all you've got to do is just have a little bit of confidence in a bit of painting, in a bit of paint. So I'm just being really quick with this now, sort of thing. And then I'm just going to just dab it here and there. Now on the smaller one, you haven't got that little tiny bit of detail, but I don't want it to look out, so I'm just tapping it here and there just to put that on. Same again, I'm just going to do a little bits here and there. And then here and there, here and there, here and there, there and here. Yep. Okay. So again, you could build it up now. If you wanted to put in some trees, for instance, here we go. Let's have a real proper play now. I don't normally do this on a live, I'll have you know. So I'm going to put some brown down, and tell you what, let me just take that off. Let me just see if I can pick up a bit of black ink here. Okay. Don't need a lot, but that'll do. Oh, that was a right clittery clattery noise, wasn't it? I do apologise. It's probably gone right down your ear hole. Okay, so let's put that off there so it's not making silly noises. Right. So if you are confident enough, and I say this because I know not many of you are, and for those of you that are, I'm going to use a number 4 brush, just a normal rounded brush, and you can see that's just exactly what it is, just a normal rounded brush. I'm going to put a bit of water on, not too much. That's a real story, but well, we're just playing. Yeah, we're just playing. Now I want some trees, and I want a tree to come over into this because there's too much space here. Now normally if you've got a stamp, and I could quite easily get a stamp and go stamp, 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 done. Yeah, but I'm really going to sort of go out on a limb now and have a paint. You know, here we go. If it's rubbish, just laugh, all right, because that's all I'll do. So I'm just using the brush, I'm loading it up with paint, and I'm just going to give myself a sort of an idea of, I just maybe want something to come up and over here maybe, and then I'll tell you what, we'll have it here and here maybe, bring it up, we'll have it coming up over here, and then I'll have it over here and bring it down here. And this is only a rough at the minute, this is not the finished article, by the way. Just in case you're looking and go, crikey, she can't even draw a tree. Well, not today anyway. Are the nerves going to get the better of me, I wonder? Well, we will see, eh? We will see. Let's have a look. So move your thing around. Don't be shy either. Always be in control of anything that you're doing, all right? And that means your card, your paint, etc., etc. So you're the one that's actually here doing this work now. Yeah. So let's just bring that out. And again, if you wanted to sort of put pretty leaves on and stuff like that, you can do. I'm going to bring that across here, I think. So now we've broken up the eye line, you know, of that card now. So I've got black. Now, black is a very strong number, and I want it to be sort of here and there. As I'm looking at this now, I want this to sort of come in and down. Now, I've just got to be mindful of that. I felt that was a bit damp, so let me just put that there a sec. And I'm just going to bring it along. Now, as you can see, some of these lines are all over the place. And again, don't worry about it. We'll move it all around so it's going to look different, if that makes sense. It will do. I'm just going to come across here and there, and again across here. Now As I say, if you wanted to put leaves on this, very easy. I'll just show you how in a sec. And again, it's just confidence, you know. I mean, you can see the state of the lines on here. They're all over the place. You know, I am not worried about it. And to be fair, we could have another tree that we sort of, will maybe come around the back here, and maybe we'll come around here to fill out. You know, there could even be a little bit of a branch coming through here. That'll come down here. That'll come around here maybe. Again, there hasn't got to be any sort of formal structure to anything. And again, I just want to add a little bit more of a darker, let's bring our little log house to life sort of thing. A bit of chimney, and maybe just a little bit of a, it look like he's got a little bit of a fence or something around it. And that's in that background sort of area. Now, to put some trees on, I'm going to do lots of different greens on this. I'm going to start with a darker green. Let me just, oh, where's my pot of water gone? Darker green was this one here. Yes, perfect. So I'm going to put that down there. So all I'm going to do now is sort of dab, 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 sort of a moment. Now, there's lots of different brushes you can use. I've obviously got this one on the go at the moment, which is my round, yeah? And if you wanted to, again, don't worry, there is no sort of right way or wrong way or any sort of way. All I'm doing is just popping a bit of colour on, really. Don't bother me. It doesn't got to physically look like an actual branch, a tree, a leaf. It's just green, yeah? I think a lot of you panic, and that's understandable as well, by the way. We all have different sort of, it's got to look like this, or it's got to look, it can look like however you want it to be. Now, for instance, I'll get this flat brush, another brush that you could use for doing things like this. Let me just dab off a bit of water. Let me get a different green. Let me get that luminous sort of one. I'm going to use this one. So I've got that a lighter green, and then all I'm going to do now is just dab it over, yeah? Now, you can just see how things are sort of starting to change the look of, for one, that sort of tree line, yeah? I'm going to get another layer of the luminous green, yeah? And I'm going on these darker ones now to sort of give, and because I'm allowing the wet ink to move with the darker ink, we're getting different colours formed now. So I'm going to get another colour of green. And I don't worry about mixing greens in my pan either. It really doesn't bother me. So I'm going to put like sort of, it's sort of an olive, but a darker, well, I suppose realistically, olivey colour. I don't know. Now, depending on the time of year, you could put your reds in there, you could put your browns in there. You know, you could even put blossoms into this if you wanted to, which we might end up doing in a bit in a fair. Let me just add some more different greens in. Let's just take away those branches, because sometimes you haven't always got to have the branch left in there. You can actually take that away. All we've done is had the structure of what we think, where there's a tree. I'll tell you what, let's put a bit of yellow into this. So my pan has just decided to look like, let's just play around with this a second. Thank you very much, that'll do. So now when you start building up different colours, and I'm actually going to put in some of this white, so it does reactivate once wet. So we've got a lot going on there now, which is brilliant, and we can still sort of see the branches through there, which is what you really want to do anyway. Let me just dry that. I'm just going to dry that off because I want to now do another layer. Now you can put your pan pastels on if you wanted to. Again, it's totally up to you. But I'm going to thicken out that tree line and stuff in a minute. I just want to just get that dried off a little bit. So I think that looks a little bit, oh no, it's more or less dry. Love it. So I'm going to change brushes. I'm going back onto my round now. So I want to sort of get a little bit more detail in places. So I'm just going to pick up some yellow. Now I've got a yellow and a green mixed in there, and I'm just going to pop it down there just so you can see. So I am going to sort of do a little bit more of a dab, and I'm going to tap with my finger in places as well. And that's just going to give me that sort of, I don't know, I always say it's more like a sort of a leafy come sort of weird look. I don't know. It's one of them. I'll just make it up as I go along. I just like making a mess. I can't walk away from painting without looking like I've just, you know, had a fight with a paint set, can I? You know, it wouldn't be me, would it? So let's just put a bit more of that dark into it. Let's blend it all out nicely. So you can see now how this has really started to take shape with those different colours, and you have to watch obviously because it's wet paint, so the light will catch it differently. So I do apologise if you're not really seeing that effect. I'll make sure it's all dry though when I matte and layer it, so you get a proper view of the picture. Let's just take out that bit there, and I'm going to add a little bit of brown in places as well now, as you do. And then I'm going to go over with some of this lighter brown and the green. That's better, sort of looking like something now. Right, so as I said, I'm just going to thicken out with the black and the brown. So I've got sort of a darker, and I'm going to bring it down. So I'm bringing that trunk more into perspective now, so I can actually see. And then if you wanted to add light and dark into this, then you actually can do. And again, there's going to be certain areas which you want to maybe even want to see that go in or around, maybe that you want to see through that tree line. Bring it out. Don't be shy just to do the odd line of branch here and there. That's what it's all about, really. Showing those different areas in different places. Now then, what have I done there? There you go. Okay, sorted. So let me dab that. Perfect. Let's add a little bit of something here, a bit of water down there, soften that. Perfect. So if there's places where you think, oh, I've done quite a lot what I've done there, as you clearly saw, that was exactly what I always do. Just add some water on it and then just bring it back to life that way. And I'm probably going to just take a branch into there. Why not? I'm going to take that through so you can see it a bit clearer, and a bit more over there. Okay, so let's have a look on this now. So I'm just going to put bits of lighter green in places, darker green. Now, normally when you've got trees, you'll have bits of like moss and stuff running on them. Don't be shy to actually put a bit of green down the trunk of your tree. It's not always about a blob of brown. So it's all about you adding those different layers. And also you're going to have light and dark spots, so you can actually add a bit of black also. Not too much, because if you're going to move it, the black will obviously be that overpowering colour and you will lose all that lovely detail that you're putting in. Yeah, so we've now got a tree casting over. And again, if you don't like how it stops, get your water and don't be shy to actually move your piece about. Now, everybody's different. You might go, oh, good God, what's she doing? But it's okay. I don't mind. Remember, I'm just showing you guys. So I'm just giving you all those lovely different sort of ideas. Yeah. So let me just dab off a little bit. Why not? Let me get a brush and move around the ink a little bit. And all I'm going to do here is just move this around. Move it around. There we go. Sorted. So there's no harsh lines here now. Everything sort of blends in. Whether it's into the tree, into the bark, into the skyline. It can be as soft as you want it to be because the water will move it around. Okay. Like it's done all down here. Now that's gone very, very soft again. So all I'm going to do now is just bring in just a couple of little different bits of greens just to play around so it goes through here. And again, it's just adding the water, allowing it to move around. So all it is practice. Now, easy for me to say, I know, and I'm sorry when I say that, but that's all it is. Let's just put that bit of definition in the back, and that can be our finishing touches as such then. So let me bring them trees back to life in the background. So we want that darker tree, so we want that darker green. And I'm going to pop that just down here. So again, all I'm going to do here now is just move around some of the areas, just so it looks like maybe conifers or something like that. If you wanted to go more of a pine fern-esque, you look at different reference pictures. All I'm doing is wiggly lines. You know me, I like a wiggly line. And then all I'm going to do then is just wiggle it around here to blend it in. There we go. Perfecto. Let me just move it around with a bit of water. There we go. Right, let me be a bit more defined now. So once you've got your water base, you can really bring that in. I'm going to add a bit of yellow into that because it's just too. And then I'll put the smoke over at the end again. Let me just put some of this in. There we go. I'm just waiting for Morph to turn up. Oh, behave yourselves. You guys are all capable of doing this. I'm showing you. Even if you rewatch this and sort of step by step, please just have a go. Because you're all sort of more than, let me just have a look at that now. Oh yeah, it's in the background. You're all more than capable of doing this. Now I'm going to have a bit of black just to put a little bit of a line across there. Now then, while things are still wet, just be careful, because the last thing I want you to do is lose what you're doing. And I'm just going to put that little line of smoke back in, and I am going to, because obviously my hands are in it, I've got prints all over the place, so I'm going to actually do this one now in black. So I'm going to be really, really light, and I'm just going to do a little old wiggle coming out of the smoke line, just like that. So you can actually see the smoke now. Now I can then very lightly, I can either dab off a little bit, bring it down, or add a bit of water, or if you're comfortable, go over it with a white. So I've just picked the white out the pan, and all I'm going to do now is just literally go over that to get that grey effect. Okay, then I'm going to sort of put my little windows back in, a little door sort of thing. And normally, I mean, it looks quite dusky, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of yellow, so it looks like there's somebody in. There's a bit of a light on you, as you do. Now, if you really want to sort of, I don't like them dots there, so here we go. How does I hide it? There we are. I've got myself a 03 Pigma Micron, and all I'm going to do now is just think about how dirty my hands are. Put that down, and I'm going to take my eyeliner away from that, and I'm just going to have a couple of little birds just flying back home now because it's roosting time. Yeah, there we go. And then if you, again, like I say, you can sort of pull little bits out if you want, whether it's like, you know, like a picket fence or anything like that. But don't try and take or put too much in. Allow your layers to dry as you go. Like for me now, I want to put some grass in here, which I'm going to do. This will be my finish off thing, because we're nearly, well, I'm not out of time, but I've taken your time. I've taken a lot of your time up this morning. Where's the time gone? It's just flown by, hasn't it? Wow. So I'm just going to pop that down. Let me just add a bit of water to it. And again, depending on the brushes that you're using, you know, because all you're going to do now is start playing around and thinking, oh, let's have a go. Now, because this is quite close to you, I could do this as bunches of grass, and I'm going to pick up dark yellows, greens, you know, whatever I want really, because it's in that sort of this close area. Yeah. Now, if you're thinking about contrasting areas, you can do like little bits here and there. Let me just squirt a bit of water down here. That'll do for me. All I'm going to do is just give you the ideas to do something. So I can't wait to see what you're all comfortable and what you're all going to actually be doing. It's going to be very, very interesting to see who comes up with what. I hope it does. Oh, there's its magic. Oh, bless you. You are yourself for the win. Nutters. Oh dear me. But just remember, there's that many different greens out there. You've got to bring them into your sort of, you know, your picture. Because again, you got that flat green colour. You had a couple of strokes with different greens from what you've put down. Because you've got all this different colour, you can actually change this from a flat green into a grassy meadow. Now, if this is a grassy meadow, you know what I'm going to put in now to finish it? Some flowers. So we're going to put the flowers in as the last part. But you weren't expecting that, was you? Because I wasn't either. But because I can see it now with the grass, you've got to put them in, ain't you? I can't give you half a picture, can I? Well, I suppose I could if I wanted to be really mean, but I'm not like that. You know me. I'm a nice person. Right, so I'm just going to, and again, don't be shy to sort of cross your colours over into different places and stuff like that. So, again, you can see we've got all different colour greens. Bring it over your stencil. Make sure it all merges in, because when you look in a field, you don't just see bam, 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 a layer, layer, layer. Everything merges together. You lot are going to be Picassos, I'll tell you. Can't wait to see what you all come up with. Really can't. So let's really put that sort of, let's get that line here. There we go. Right then. You just imagine the pictures you can come up with. Yeah. So you look for your reference pictures and it's like, bam, pretty. So should we have some of that lilac? Maybe. Right. So I'll let you choose now. So what would you like in this meadow here? Would you like pinks or would you like lilacs, reds? What do you want? Could be like poppy-esque, I don't know. What would you like? I know we've got a little bit of a lag, so let's see what you come up with. Hi Karen, Tracy, Lou. Hi Lou, how are you? Karen, Cheryl, hi. Sharon, hi. Luke, that means Carla and the clan. Hello, hello, hello. Lilac, there you go, first one up. Lilac it is, inspiration. Purples, go with the skies. Bang. I'm glad you looked. You see, this proves to me that you're actually looking what's going to correspond. Perfect. So I could do sort of like a lavender field now. Now, how easy is that? Let's play. So if I'm going to do like a lavender field, for one, I'm going to need this thin brush, but I'm also going to use this brush, which is your flat. Now, you can use any sort of flat, but I just want to sort of put down in the distance in the wood, a little cottage proudly. Oh, look, we've got it. See? Bam! You've got it. You've got it. Oh, I'm so proud of you guys. Yes, you've got it. You're making me all teary-eyed, little sods. What are you like? Right then, okay. So we've got that beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous lilac colour there. Let me get that lighter one. Oh, yes, you've got it. Love it. I love it when you sort of, you get it. I hope that makes sense. I really do. Right then, so I'm actually going to go in with that darker one now. Okay. I love this story that you've just put together. I'm going to use the tip of this now because, you know, when you think about lavender, it stands upright, doesn't it? So let me just get the interpretation that we've got a bit of lavender. Yeah, okay. Do you get it? Look at that. Look how easy that is. It's just a line, a dot. Yeah, but we're going to make it look a little bit real in a minute. Yeah, okay. Let me just take it up a little bit. Now then, look at this. Ooh. So you see how I'm moving it around now, so it's going a little bit thicker. Yeah, thicker, so it looks like lavender. Yeah, okay. So let me just put that on here. Now it's mixing with the lighter. It's actually coming through, so you've got that lighter bit coming into it. Now bear in mind that we've got that lovely bit of ferns stenciled in the background. We don't want to lose that. So all I'm going to do now is swap brushes, and I'm going to go. Whoop, I'm going to move things around, ain't I? Crumbs, trust me. I'm going to use that round, which is the 0 brush, and I'm going to go straight into the palette there, and I'm going to pick up a bit of the wet, and then all I'm going to do is just dot into areas. Now, there's a couple of different ways. You can really like go to town on. Now I'm going to use something with a lighter mist spray. So you can mist it over just so this moves slightly. So it looks like you can see it, but it's blended into the grasses, yeah? So you can see how that's blending in now. Let me just take that off. Let me go in with that lighter lilac. Now, obviously, let me just move that around so we've got those different sort of colours. Perfect. Let me dab it off a little bit because I've got a plonk of colour. That's it. Perfecto. So I've just taken away that light a bit, but moved that around a little bit more. So let me just blend in now so I'll get an in between the two. So I'm blending in the light and the dark. So I'm actually getting that lovely colour now, contrasting in. Now with that, then I want to put a bit of green in, just so it looks like it's actually blended in with the grass. And then I want, let me just put a couple of strokes in. Don't like it when things go too sort of, that's better. Let's bring it down. Perfect. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this lighter blue in, because sometimes when the light catches, you might have a couple of little bits of cornflower in. So again, just think about what's in this little field, because it's not just going to be lavender. I'm quite sure about that. Let me just bring a bit of colour around here. So already we've got in the background, we maybe have a little bit of a cornflower, maybe, I don't know, but it looks like a blue anyway. Let's just put a little bit more over there. And again, don't overdo it, because, oh, here we go, blob of water. There we go. There's me saying don't overdo it, and I get a blob of water come out. Okay, there we go. Right. That's the stuff. Right, so bring a bit down here. So we've got something going on. Now, I do want a little bit of the white, so I'm going to go straight in the pan. And I must admit, this white's good. So if you ain't got bleed proof, now I'm not saying this is in replacing bleed proof, because there's nothing that's going to replace bleed proof in my eye, I'm afraid to say. Simple as that. But I'm just putting that little bit of summit so you can see it in the distance, yeah? So let me just put a little bit of yellow in, because always in the distance there's always a yellow flower of something, whether it's buttercups, you know, it could be absolutely anything. But just blend it off, just so it looks like maybe the light's catching the top of it, the top of that sort of meadow. And again, you do as little or as much as you like, but I just want to bring now, I want to bring this lilac into play properly. So I am still using the zero brush, and I want to bring this to life now. So let me just shift everything out the way and come down onto this. So let me bring this. So if you think about lilac, lavender, should I say, there we go. Might help if I get the right thing. It's sort of very wiggly, and it looks like little corns that come off, depending. So you've got English lavender, you've got French lavender. They all look different, and I don't know what lavender this is, but it's going to be Lisa lavender. Why not? If there's anybody out there that's deciding to do a breed of lavender, I'm sure Lisa lavender would be really popular. There we go. So all I'm doing at the minute is giving it sort of a little bit of shape, because these are a little bit more closer, so you can actually see it. And then I'm going to go directly in with that lighter lilac. Now all I'm going to do is just touch it into places so it looks like the light is hitting parts of the flower. So it's just like dot here and there, and that will change the total look of sort of the dimension of what you're looking at with that light and dark. And if you don't like it, squirt it with water. So let me see. Yeah, okay. So now I'm not saying I don't like it, but I do want to see what it looks like with a little squirt of water on it. Okay. And I'm just going to have to wait just for that movement. I quite like that, to be fair. So I'm not going to take off any of that bit there. Yeah, like that. So that's now blended in. So that's, yeah, I like that. Let me dry it off. And then it's just a case of matte and layering, really. So I'm hoping that you've got a couple of ideas. Not quite what I had in mind, but it never normally is, and that's what I like about when we do this. So I'm just going to blend all this in now. I do want to put some white in, so let me just do that off and then we'll call it a day. Oh bless you. Let's have a look. So this just gives you an idea. Do not bother copying it in this context because it's too much in one place, if you get me. I like it to be less, but this might be you, I don't know. So there's me saying don't do this, but it might be actually, you might look at it and think, well, it's perfect. You know, again, you do what you feel. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of this white again. I'm just going to pop it down there because I don't want too much. But I just want to just put a little bit of detail into places just on some of these flowers. Just so it brings it back to life a little bit more. I mean, lavender's absolutely stunning. I love lavender. Not just for the properties of the smell and that, but it's such a beautiful flower in so many different ways. So all it is realistically is just giving you just a little bit of sort of there were times when I thought it was lost. No, just add water. It always comes back. Trust the process. Water will always make it look a lost picture, but then it depends what you add to it to actually bring it back. So yeah, don't be shy, because when I start adding water to it, it's not the fact that I've like gone, ooh, it's just the fact that it just needs a process. You're very welcome, very welcome. So I'm just going to blend this bottom bit. Let me just dry it first. I'm going to get me peeled paints, which I think would be the better option. So let's grab that. Let's finish it off for you so you can see. Then all I've got to do then is matte and layer it. So I've got peeled paint, one of my faves. I'm going to turn it round. It is a little bit wet there, so you know me, danger. Oh dear me. But bear in mind, we'd already done this anyway. So all we're doing now is just bringing it together realistically. So you can go in as far as you like, or not, as the case may be. It's your creation. Do whatever, yeah? So there you go. And again, you can put a darker blue or a lighter blue at the top. You can even put water splatters on. So if I'm putting water splatters on, I need a water splatter brush. There we go. So water splatter, I'm just going to couple. Now I'm going to do all over because I've just put oxides on. Will you post the painting in the group? Yes, of course, yes. Yeah, this will go out. What I do is I'll put this down as today's YouTube, and then I'll post a picture with it. You'll always get the picture with it so you know which reference it is. And then all I'm going to do is just dab that off with the water. I'm not letting it settle on. I want it to lift the paint. And there you go. So it's lifted those little areas. Now you can, if you wanted to, put some other droplets on. Again, it's up to you. But yeah, you'll get this as a reference picture. There is, like I say, it's a very busy picture. Busy. So, you know, use it for what you need. Layers, however, you know, whatever it does for you. But it just gives you that idea. So for me, this should be lighter here. There's too much darkness to it in that sense. But let me grab the references that let me grab actually what we've done. Let me just move the wet paints out the way. Let's put them over there. And remember, we've used so many different things. So these were giving you, obviously, when I'm doing it out of this, I can do this in my own time, so it's different. When I'm doing it like this in a tutorial, it's very quick. So it's like, do this, you know. So this is where things are a little bit different. But those, obviously, I've done those earlier. Lobelia and the chicken, and that was just a stencil where I just painted it, okay? And then this is what we've done today. So we've given you the idea of your layers and how to do your scenery with the different colours on watercolour card. And then just a couple of tags. And again, it's just going to be, we've got watercolour and we've got the smooth. I mean, look, that could go together. So if you look on the back, if you forget, smooth 300, watercolour, you can feel the difference in it. And you can feel the difference when you hold it as well. Some of you might not be able to tell, but there you go. I'm just giving you an idea. But it gives you an idea of doing the different greens like we've done here. Yeah, then adding some brown in it, allowing it to move. When it all's dried, I've just got that fine liner pen and just put a little fencing in the background. And then here I stamped in black, and then I just painted, which you saw what I've done today with the painting. Yeah, so this is giving you the ideas to go around and have a go at all of that sort of stuff, using the different colours to have your backgrounds with the there's yellows, there's oranges, a bit of purple, some blues, yellow again in there. Okay, see you later, Chris. I'm going myself now, so you're not missing anything. But then again, you saw me put all that down there. You put a tree in, etc., etc. So again, you can put flowers in, you can put splatters on, you can do whatever you like. Have a play, have a bit of adventure. Pop a chicken in. You know, totally up to you. So thank you so very, very much for joining me. I will put the reference pictures on for you. I'll matte and layer this one, just so you get the idea. And there you go. Painted or not? That is the question. Are you going to start stamping and painting, or are you going to stamp it and leave it? Thank you so much. I'm going to turn off the social. So goodbye to Insta. Thanks ever so much for following me. Give me a thumbs up and all that nonsense, and I'll see you all soon. Let's say bye to you guys there. That's that done. And there you go. That's that done with you. And then you lot, thank you so very much for watching. I'm glad you went over on, well, there is volume on it, but like I say, YouTube's a better option. So I'll say bye to you guys now. So that's that. So I'm pressing buttons there. I'll be back with you guys in a minute. You can see my carnage. That's that done. Right then, so let's demount for you lot. Up. There we go. So here's my mess. Here's what we made. Okay, so that's what we've done there. And then my paints and bits and bobs are over here. And obviously the things I've used there. And we've got a bit here. And then we've got the mess on the floor. So it's real. It's real as you can get. So have a go. Post in the group, in the mashup group, or on my Facebook page, or my Facebook group, or whichever. You know, they're all there for you. So thank you so much for joining me this Sunday morning. Have a fabulous weekend, and I look forward to seeing whether you stamp and leave it, or you stamp and paint. So it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see what you do. All right, so I'll see you all soon. Take care now. Bye bye.